Yes, it did. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, all.
See, we have a full house today. Our main
Well, nice,
week's here, and Brian Jones from Iron Horses joined us, and we're going to hear some more from him in a little bit. But first, Steve, since you're here for a change.
Yeah, what a concept, huh? Good morning, everybody. Let's
Let us know who's here.
We got Tammy, mom and son. Good morning. Chris Brew, Floyd Robbins, Joe Rader, John Dawson, Gerald Stewart, Lynn McCurdy, John Benecki, and oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. My thing just flipped out on me. Okay, where was I? John Dawson, did I say that? Our buddy Crazy Steve Anderson, Roy Hardwick, morning Roy, Joe Rader. Let's see, we got Digger. Good morning, Digger. Man, I know I missed somebody. Anyway, let's see. Did I miss any? Okay, well, anyway.
Mark Pruitt's here.
Mark Pruitt. Yeah, but I think it's going by so fast. But anyway, good morning, guys. It's good to be back, finally. I'm not working. Woo!
Yeah, it's good to see it. I think this is the first time we've had, other than us showing two cameras at the same time, it's the first time we've had 6 people on here.
Yeah, it looks good. We got Harley Memphis popped in. Harley Memphis, good morning. Steve Sherrill, good morning. Rick's Trains. Ray Bertelson,
Yeah.
Kyle Stevens.
Yeah, Kyle said it. Look at this lineup.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't
Anyway.
look too hard.
Uh-oh.
What's Dennis showing?
Dennis got
I have no idea.
Okay, before we get started with Brian, we're going to do this because
that could be dangerous.
From Lynn McCurdy, and so I'm not supposed to open this until like he's in a show. I've had it for over a week. I need to open it.
Yes.
So Lynn's here.
Anybody mind if I open this?
Absolutely.
No.
I'm curious.
I think if you don't, Lynn's gonna bust a gut or something. I'm not sure.
Be careful.
No, I'm not going to do the Heath thing where I take like 10, 15, 45 minutes to open the box because
thank you.
Building anticipation.
Really not, because we've got a show to do, right? So it wouldn't make sense to play games and.
So open the damn thing already.
Just be careful.
Yeah, watch it with that Exacto, man.
On live, you got to be careful with it.
I just put in a new blade too yesterday.
And if this isn't family friendly in the box, we're going to get on to Lynn.
It will be Lynn's fault.
Yes, it will be.
All right.
Of course, you get a little blood on here, our subscribers might go up.
Yeah, there we go. That's true. They've been waiting for us to bleed.
Holy cow! You gotta be kidding me. Oh.
Christmas morning.
A piece of paper. Look at there.
Receipt. I'm kidding. I don't know what it is. It is. Does everybody want to know what it is?
Yeah.
You shut up and open it.
It's
what a butt wipe.
It's the Model Railroad General Store, and it looks like it's a 6-pack of a double-deck stock car.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
nice. So these, if you're not familiar with,
I am, but I don't think
store they have narrow gauge kits.
Yeah,
this is awesome, Lynn.
I've got several of them.
You're awesome, Lynn. Let's see, I wonder if there's. Oh, it looks like maybe there's other stuff in here. I don't know.
Don't put that on your head. Okay,
I guess it's just kind of a bulk pack of different things that equate to 6 different cars. Awesome. I will look forward to building those eventually. Because I don't have any double deckers at all. That is what it was, wasn't it? Double decker. Let me see.
That's what you said.
Yep, double deck. Yeah, kit number 101. I don't have a single double decker, so thank you.
See, now you got to put some sheep on your layout if you have the double deckers.
You are too kind. I'm glad I got to open that.
Yeah, you have to put some sheep pins on your layout now, because that's what they use the double deck cars for.
Right.
Sheep.
Well, I mean, I don't know if a cattle pins in Colorado would have been dual purpose or not.
I think some of them probably were
completely different things.
In Durango, they had a giant sheep pen with a dipping station and a trough they could run them through and dip them.
Right, but could you process both cattle and sheep at the same?
I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm assuming they could.
Apparently,
they set it up that way. I'm assuming they could. That's pretty cool.
I've got some books on Colorado narrow gauge. In fact, I was looking at them this week, and you're talking about sheep, and it had some wonderful photos of sheep, going through the pens to go into those double decker cars. A number of photos in the book. It was really pretty cool to look at.
Yeah, they've got some good reference material on the Colorado narrow gauge for sure. I've got several of them here too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so enough of that mess. Brian, what have you been up to?
Well, not much, man. How y'all been doing? I'm curious, Claude, is this the paid version of StreamYard?
No, this is a free version.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't realize they'd let you throw this many people in here.
We're too cheap to pay for anything.
This is it.
The most.
Okay, same.
We're at max capacity right now.
Yeah. This is max.
I didn't realize they'd let you put 6 in here.
Yeah, 6 is the most you can put on the free one, and we've never had to do that other than putting, like I said, pictures somebody wanted to post. So if somebody wanted to post a picture, if you want to post a second camera, what I would do is probably remove myself from this room and go back to the green room so we can put it up. I think that would work okay.
Oh, I'll just, when I go down to the, I'm buffering a little here, but it's probably my end. I'm scared to hit refresh though. I'm going to try it. Give me a sec. I'm going to refresh my screen.
There you go, Dennis. Roy said maybe you don't like sheep, maybe you like pigs instead. Except I don't know that they ship many pigs on the narrow gauge.
I doubt they did. The geography of is different. It's conducive for sheep and cattle farming. Hogs are a different beast altogether.
Yep. I know they did. I know they did a lot of cattle and sheep.
It's definitely HO narrow gauge, Lynn, in case you were curious. But yeah, it's HON3.
Getting back on. There we go.
All right, guys. I wasn't able to hear y'all. It was buffering real bad, but it's better now.
Yeah, we hear you good now.
Good. Oh, was I doing it on my end too?
No, I didn't notice it. Usually I'm the one with all the tech problems.
That's what I was worried about. I was worried that y'all weren't able to hear. Yeah.
It's snowing here. So I've got my garage door closed, which usually means that I'm the worst one with the buffering and stuff.
What's it doing?
How much snow, Dennis?
I'm jealous.
It's just spitting, but it's April, so I'm still not happy about it.
Hey, we're supposed to get some tonight here in Tulsa.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to get more tonight than we are right now.
Yeah, it's not going to stay, and it'll be warmed up again by the first of the week, but that's Oklahoma.
So Brian, tell us what you've been up to.
Well, I got a new toy recently. I used some of the money that I got that YouTube finally gave me some, and I got a new toy because I'm still DC, and I'm too cheap to go DCC or DCC plus at this point. And also, I'm not really sure. I've been kind of waiting for some new technology to come along. I don't really want to switch to DC. I don't know how long the layout's going to last. The shed won't live forever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, next layout will probably be done differently. But for now, what was really awful is I couldn't do any like ops or anything because the analog rail powers are real touchy about moving back and forth and not catching sometimes. And you're having to walk back and forth to the switches and all this stuff. And so I got fortunate. I went in to buy a new rail power because one of my other ones went out and they were out of them. So I kept looking around and I found this Kato. It's a Wi-Fi DC controller, and it also connects to a sound box, which is really, really cool because DC, you know, you don't have many sound options without the whatever it's called. What is it called? The thing you put in the loco.
Oh, the decoders?
Decoder?
The decoders, yeah. So, you know, you really don't have sound options. Thank you, Digger. You really don't have sound options either. Now, the sound box is kind of expensive. It's almost $300, I think. But this was only about 120 something maybe. And I used my back on track gift certificate to get the power thing because I didn't have a way to run power. I got an HO one because I run so many locos. I talked to some people and they told me it wouldn't be a problem with the bigger layout and that kind of thing. But so I did have to get a connector though because I don't use Kato track. And so I did have to buy a separate connector. I don't know if I have that in here too. But anyway, I had to buy 3 things. But it only totaled about, you know, 170 or something. So it wasn't too bad. But what's really cool now is AJ and I can walk around the layout with a phone. And we can control power to the track and track direction and that kind of thing. And once we get
all
the
still
money,
standard DC.
yeah, you still have to do your best to speed match the locos on your own because you can't control individual locos. But you do not have anywhere within about 40 feet of the control of the box. You can control your layout, and it's very smooth. It's really touchy. You know, it goes up to 100%, but we usually stay between like 35 and 55. But it's real easy to move it 1% at a time. You can creep it off real slow and stop it real slow if you want to. What's really great is I can stand by the switch though. And I can hit the switch while I'm filming, and I can drive the train with the other hand. And so I can film ops from standing right there at the switch. And, you know, so it's really easy. If I've got a tripod filming the operation, I can actually do it pretty seamlessly where you can't even see me changing the switch. And there's no cut between it as long as it hooks up right. And so we were so limited and difficult because on the rail power that I had, at least, every time you'd switch it to reverse, sometimes it would switch over there and other times it didn't want to go. And that made it real hard for AJ. And then other times when you got it over there, it didn't catch and it wouldn't move. And you'd have to slide it back and slide it back. And then when you did get it to catch, it was jerky. And so it didn't look good for filming or anything like that. So we were pretty happy to find this thing. And it also, AJ's getting older, and so it helps her have some interest because she can walk around and drive the train now with her phone. You know.
Hey, I got a question, Brian.
Wait a second. NH Yard Limit has a question for Brian. I can't answer, but I think so.
What was the question?
Can you? Yeah.
There.
Yeah. She's got.
Sure. I'm in scale too. They have an in scale option. If you don't have a bigger layout, don't run double-headed locos or anything. You can get the in scale power pack to go with the box. I just got the HO because I've got a lot of spurs and passings, all that I'm trying to get fixed up. And
So the matter of how many amps you're pulling at any one given point in time, is that the only difference?
I guess because I did call, I called Iron Planet Hobbies. That's who I got this one from. And I got this from Midwest Model. And
So did use Humanity Junction's 10% off at Iron Planet?
I absolutely did. Brother John pointed me out to that. And so that basically got me free shipping. They were also, their price was pretty low, but they have an in-scale option for this. This was like 33, and I think the in-scale option is like 28. And yeah, this is a 16 volt, and I think that the in is 12, Dennis, if I'm not mistaken.
So here's a suggestion for you, Brian, because Nancy's not very technical. You should make a video about that little thing.
I got one out.
Okay.
It's about 2 or 3 videos ago that I uploaded ago. And yeah, I got it. It's pretty goes into it. It shows the unboxing. It shows me hooking it up and all that stuff. Yeah. So, but it's really, go ahead.
Pretty straightforward. Kata's pretty straightforward. Plug.
Yeah, it's much more simple than I thought it was going to be. And man, all you do is the little box that connects to the track. It's a tiny little box. I'm going to show y'all in a few minutes. But all you do is you take it and it snaps like a 9-volt battery would snap into something. It snaps into to the sound box. And then once that happens, your controller lights up with all the sound options. They got like 25 different sound cards for it and all this stuff. And so they got the EMD F7s, and when I can afford it, I'm going to get it. But yeah, so I'll head downstairs in a few minutes and switch cameras and go down there and show it in action. And then I guess one of the reasons I was supposed to come on a year ago and 6 months ago too was to show the layout a little bit, and so I did do a little bit of work down there to show y'all where I'm trying to go with the layout. So
that's
I got a
link to the video there.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you. What's your question, Steve?
Go ahead, Steve.
Have you heard from your counterpart lately?
Which one?
I forget what his name was, but he'd pop in on your show from time to time.
I remember him.
Oh, RC Rick.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Rivet Counter Rick.
Rick.
Yeah, no, I haven't. He's fun, but he's a lot of work. Those videos.
Yeah, I know, man. He needs.
Man.
I think I like him. I think he needs the short bus, but
yeah. Well, one of the things you got to do is time it. I need to shave and cut my hair and everything, and then I go down there and film me, and then I come up and I clean up and I film him. And so you do kind of need to time it and plan it. And then all you do is just splice the 2 screens together and just sit like you normally would. I mean, you and I could technically do a video where it looks like we're sitting beside each other talking to each other, just like I'm doing those. It's just a matter of the same background and sitting on opposite sides of it, and then you just merge the 2 and crop out the part till it matches. And so, but you got to kind of film, when you film in both parts, you kind of got to have a script and all that stuff because you got to time the responses so it matches and that stuff.
Yeah.
So it is pretty tough. It's fun to do, but I stay pretty busy with the, now that I'm doing assembled models too. Now, right now I'm dead. But now that I'm doing assembled models too, I stay really busy working on those a lot because a lot of people take advantage of that option. I didn't realize. I just sold kits for a long time, and I didn't have any assembled options on there. And now I've added assembled, and that did really well this Christmas. And I got to put. Go ahead.
You know why it's so popular? Because it's too cheap. Make it more money.
I guess I don't know. Well, I have no problem. I'm not too busy. What I do is if I get to the point where I'm gonna have to start asking for help or something from somebody, I will either raise the price or ask for help a little. But I don't really. It's really important that when somebody gets that model, that they feel like they got value out of it. Then they'll buy another one. If they feel like they paid too much, they ain't gonna come back and they're not gonna tell anybody either.
Yeah.
So I'm real careful like when I do custom work, a lot of times it's really expensive because you do have to put the CAD design hourly rate in there. And Dave says we're lazy. I think a lot of times, for real, no joke, I'm dealing with gentlemen that are significantly older than all of us. Even.
Oh no, that
That are getting to the point where they got Intel planes and they're having trouble getting them put together and stuff because they're strong modelers. If I don't do it good, they let me know, send it back. I got to fix it. You know what I mean? So I do try to do a good bit, but it makes for great content on the channel, and I enjoy doing it. So it prevents me from having to work at another job and leaving AJ with a sitter with Mama. You know, and so I'm getting to hang out here with her doing this kind of stuff, which is a whole lot better than being at Home Depot pushing buggies.
And how old's AJ now?
She's 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's in 4th grade, and she plays soccer and stuff. She's doing really well. So
She'll be graduating here next week.
What now?
At least that's what it'll feel like. It'll feel like a week. She'll be graduating.
Oh, I mean, look, y'all don't got to tell me when she hit 5 years old, I wanted it to stop. Stop right here because she could do enough on her own. I mean, 5 was great. I mean, we have a ping pong table and we play constantly around here. I don't get anything good done. All I do is play when she's here still. That's not going to be too much longer. But I don't let her stare at her phone the whole time she's here or go sit in her own room and look at her phone or something like that anyway. So if you can look at your phone, you're going to sit right here beside me.
Well, a lot of people don't know.
A lot of people don't.
That Brian's basically one of the original starters of this channel. So
we go back to what was it, Steve's? What was the name of that show?
Steve Brown, It's My Railroad.
Yeah. But what was the name of the? Didn't the stream have a name?
No,
Steve Brown.
Steve Brown. It was just
It's My Railroad.
Yeah,
It's My Railroad.
I thought Saturday morning stream might have had a different name. I could have been wrong.
I don't know. I don't think so, but
I think he just did a live off of it. It's been so long ago now.
Yeah, when he disappeared, we all kind of started this.
Exactly.
It was originally Back on Track, and then it got to Trackside and kind of morphed into this. But yeah, Brian's the grandfather of this whole thing, along with
we had a good time. I remember Joe G being involved with us.
Yeah,
and
we've been trying to get Joe back on the show.
Sparky was one of the original moderators of that channel.
Sure.
And of course our buddy over in Australia, down under.
Yeah, Shannon.
Shannon posted that out every once in a while.
Yeah.
Well, I think Joe G posted a video recently.
He did. He finally got his railroad back up and running because he started one, but then I guess his mom had some issues, so he moved and had to get a bigger house. So his whole railroad kind of went to.
I do remember all of that process.
Yeah, and then he got promoted to captain, so he's a busy firefighter. But now he's back doing his railroad. And actually, I keep in touch with him. He does want to get back on the show, but he's just been super, super busy.
That is a great man. He's a great guy.
He is.
Yes. Stay in contact with him so we can get him back on the show.
Yeah. I do. He's a great guy. I don't ever remember anything but good stuff about him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's really stand up because I know I shipped. He wanted to start trying to hand lay track, and I had a whole bunch of ties that had been cut years ago and rail, and I just shipped him off a whole bunch. But then he moved and things kind of took a back door. But yeah, Joe G's an awesome guy.
Well, you know what was super fun too, and we did it more in video format, is when we did that community roundhouse thing where we all kind of did like this, but it was a long form video that went out, and that was kind of fun to do. There was a lot of work though, but that was fun to do. too.
Yeah.
And actually, what kind of messed us up was starting to go live. It kind of made things too difficult, getting everybody together at one time and all that stuff. Because see, you were able to film all this stuff individually, and then you could just come patch it all together. And so, but that was a lot of editing on SRV John. I'm sure
Yeah.
he is. He's
and
at his box office right now.
that's one reason we've kept it pretty simple on here.
Oh, y'all got it going on, man. Y'all do it perfect. Y'all got
Well, it was like, originally Shannon was always wanting us to have a subject for each week.
Yeah.
And what would happen was we'd start out with that for 10 minutes and it would always morph into something else.
Yeah.
And so I said, Shannon, let's just go on and start talking, because it never fails. Something comes up and we'll get on a subject and the chat puts their 2 cents in and we start talking, and pretty soon the hour's up.
You're
And so
exactly
it's worked really well. And I think we need to just kind of leave it that way.
Because the topic and being worried about coming up with a guest and all that stuff was the problem.
Exactly.
You're right.
If somebody pops in, great. I mean, like in the green room, we were talking about Chat GBT and Grok, and Dennis put in and how to wire his tortoises, and he got this whole thing on how to solve his problem. We could do a whole show on that.
Speaking of, when I get downstairs, I'm gonna ask y'all about some tortoises, which I'm fixing to do. I'm gonna jump out of here, Claude, and it'll probably be 2-3 minutes. Particularly, it's been more than a half hour since I've had the controller on, and so it's probably going to be off. I'm going to have to turn it back on.
Before you leave, I wanted to ask you one question before I forget, because I'll forget to ask you. I know you're DC. Do you have it laid out in blocks?
I do. I do. I have several places where I can park locomotives, shut the track power down and have them running elsewhere, other places. Yeah, I can. I have passings and spurs and all this stuff where I can control track power off and on. And so I can pull a train off, shut the power off to that line, and then I can let another one pass, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I guess it's kind of blockish, maybe. I just did it the best way I could figure it out at the time. But yeah, and I'll show you a little bit about that, because I got some. I'm going to need some help in a couple places, I think. So I got some questions for y'all too. That I got some. Mainly, I got a bunch of turnouts that I can't reach, and so we're going to have to get some suggestions on what to do. Probably tortoises is going to be the solution, I would think. But anyway,
really well.
Yeah. Anyway, give me just a few minutes and I'll be down there and I'll come back in. Okay.
All righty.
All right, guys. Thank you.
I got a quick question for Steve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, concerning real railroad operations, and you leave the yard with a train, and it's every car in your train has a destination. Along the way, you're going to do some pickups and set outs. Are there any hard and fast rules about where you're like, is the first location that you're going to set cars out, is it closest to the locomotive? Is it further away from the locomotive? Are there rules there that?
Well, the basic rule of thumb with operations, railroaders are lazy. They want to get it done in as quick as fashion that they can with the fewest moves, because conductors are lazy. And so, yeah, you would keep it towards the head end. Like for a straight set out, say you're going to set out a car and pick it up. Generally,
will your pickup at the same location you're set out be in the same place as the train, or do you always put your pickup at the end of the train, or does it just depend?
Well, no, if you got a runaround move, but if it's, let's say it's a
no
facing
runaround.
Okay, no runaround, it's a facing point move. You're gonna set out one and pick up one. I would leave your set out on the head end next to the locomotive. You would pull up, and probably what we would do would leave the set out with the locomotive. So you cut that one off, pull up to the switch, line it, go in, get your pickup, pull out to the main line, set the pickup back to your train, and then spot your load that's going back in the industry. And then, because that way, while you're setting, after you make your pickup and you put it back to the train, you're making your train air, get your train line connected, angle cock set up, and it's all ready to go. So you cut off the spot car, go back, spot it, go back, pick up your train, grab it, pump the air up, and go. If you had, let's say you had a, I guess if you had a runaround move, so you had a runaround with I guess it would be a facing point switch. You would put your spot car on the rear end. So you would pull your train in, down let's say the passing siding, cut off your power, run around your train, grab the caboose, your spot car, pull back to the main line, and then you could spot your car on that facing point switch.
And then if you're pulling something on the same track, it's going to go right back on the caboose and back on the train.
Right, yeah. And in real life, they would do a drop instead of making a runaround. They'd put the they cut the train off probably a quarter of a mile from that facing point track that you're going to spot the car. And I don't know if anybody knows what a drop is, but you would have the three member, you'd have the conductor, the rear brakeman, and the head brakeman. You would have let's see, you would put the
oh, it's mirrored.
oh, it's hard to explain, but you would basically get up to speed going down the main line. You would cut the car off on the fly and then run the engine really fast. So the car's rolling free on the main line. The engine gets past the facing point switch. The guy on the ground would line that switch. Car would roll into the spot track with.
They don't do that today, though, right?
No, but we used to do it. We used to do it all the time, but it was always against the rules. But it would save you a ton of time for running around your train.
Yeah, but
I was gonna say something about what Dave said here. Mark said that Dave thought was something besides his feet.
I don't think you could do that with your railroad, though.
No, you couldn't.
No,
and then, of course, maybe we can get Dave Todd on here and we could talk about it. But then you have a drop, and then you have what's called a Dutch drop. And
so, like, one of you railroad guys, and I would say Dave because his layout runs well. Explain moves, how they do them, and
well, I understand the moves.
I don't
think of the moves. My question is always, how do I block my train before I go out? Is always that kind of thing. And I guess that we've got Brian back now. This is a whole nother topic we can get into some other time.
Yeah,
I'm interested though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got you on here to show this.
What you got going on, Brian?
Well, and I got to thinking before I did this part, I should probably do this part. Let me come. I'm sorry, shaky cam. I'll do my best, but this is all that is, guys. Let me show you just for reference. There's my finger.
That's your wife.
There's my finger. So just for size reference, but I just had to buy this little connector here because I don't. That's the power pack one, I think. Wait, one of them goes over here to this. But anyway, you just splice the wires into your track just like normal. You got to have this connector and the power pack. Both things that plug in the back you have to buy yourself unless you already have Cotto's stuff. And if you already have Cotto's stuff, you might have that white plug that'll plug in because they have a weird connector. And then the power pack is just kind of a regular one. And it's 16 or 12 volts. And then, hold on just a sec. The screen will only stay on 5 minutes unless I do it constant, and I don't want to do it constant.
Jack Deck is asking if that's DC
Yes.
convert.
Yes, it is.
It's more of a DC Wi-Fi.
Exactly. And with the sound option, that's what I'm like, and I just don't have the money yet for that. But I mean, it's very simple. You know, it's just gotta. I'm at 20, 22.
That is nice and smooth start.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then to change, you just dump. And so you can go up one at a time. I can.
It's still making use of, I guess, pulse width modulation. Is that how the DC is being applied to the rails?
I'm not sure, Dennis. Say that one more time.
The actual voltage going to the tracks, I presume, is the same technology that DC's used forever, which is pulse width modulation.
Yeah, and all I'm doing is just talking to the box, and the box is just telling the track how much power and what direction to push it. It has an auto switch off, and
where do you control sound at? Where do you sound? What do you control sound with?
All this stuff right here will light up. Let me make sure. When you plug the sound box in, all these things light up here, as well as you get a bunch more options down here for the different sounds that the sound card, contains.
So do you not have it hooked up?
No, I don't have a sound card. I don't have the sound box yet, Jerry. They're expensive.
Oh,
I gotta get one.
You already got it. I thought you had.
It's on the wish list, man.
Gotcha.
It's next because the sound would be so cool to me. I think that having sound out here would be so awesome. But and like I said, I got that set for 5 minutes. That'll stay just like that. You can run this in the background even. So let's say you had a double main. You would have to buy 2 of them, but you could have both controllers. You could run both of them from one device because you can put this in the background and the train will keep running. And so you don't have to keep it active in the train. It'll keep, you can't do any new controls till you reactivate it and pull it up, but that's about it.
So you could have a controller for every train you want to run, but you have to buy another box, right?
Not every train, every
block
line.
Okay.
So Claude has a double main, right? A true one. And so I got to turn this up a little bit. Hold up. I don't have enough speed. Hold on. I didn't mean to do that, y'all. I'm sorry.
Good.
I should turn this off to do this. All right. So what I did, foul, wasn't thinking. And I don't think you can see it good, but it'll help me.
I see all your little cards back there.
Which one?
Your card describing all your scenes. It's a lot of them.
Yeah. So what this is this train is the I loosely model the line that goes from Denver's Union Station to Winter Park. It's an actual line, and it's called the ski train. And basically, they started doing this in the 1940s, and I'm in the 50s here on the layout. Okay. And so what I did is I got a summary together about the train itself. And we're gonna run into each other here too. I didn't think about that.
Boy, Brian, I remember when that layout first started, and you were using the skewers and all that. Yeah, man. I that goes way, way back.
That's been a long time ago.
Man, yeah.
So, yep, it was actually a Bachman track, and it was, let's see, three straight pieces, and then an oval on both sides. It was an oval with three straight pieces on each side, basically. And so we grew up to this through you guys, with you guys' help, basically. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff, but what I do is, like, so the train goes from here in Denver all the way around to Winter Park, and my idea is that, let's say, for example, this is Denver down here, which it is. This is March, and as I go to Arvada here, this is April. And as I go to Layden here, this is May. And I intend to model them in those kind of colors and seasonal stuff, right? As I go over here to Rocky, Colorado, I don't know what y'all can see. Let's see. There. All right. As I go over here to Rocky, Colorado, it's June and July, August, September, all the way around till we get to Winter Park in the winter months. And that way I can model all the seasons.
That's cool.
And so, again, a lot of this is work in progress, needs to be done, blah, blah, blah. But so we start down here in Denver. This is a model of Union Station in the 50s. Back there in the very back is Cousin Vinny's Italian restaurant way back there. I'll give you a better view of that. This is actually a hotel that's, and how it looked in downtown Denver at the time. It's near Union Station. It's not really that close, but what happens is the ski train goes from here to Winter Park daily, and it takes people in so they don't have to drive over the Berthoud Pass. I think Roy was here, and Roy is probably the one that knows best for sure. Maybe some of y'all have been over Bertha, is what they call it. Berthoud Pass is pretty mean during the winter, and so you're able to take the train from Denver into Winter Park to ski. And so it started in the 40s, and it still goes today. There was a period of time in the between 2009 and 2017 where they didn't have service. Amtrak took it over in 2017. Before that, it was, is my arm in the way? I messed up. I knocked the train off. All right, before that, let's see. Denver and Salt Lake Railroad ran it initially, and then the Denver and Rio Grande Western took over in the 50s. And they primarily ran EMD F7s. They did have passenger and freight service running on both the EMD F7s. And they picked the EMD F7s because they're real good at navigating steep grades and stuff. So what I did is basically I just went around, and, like, this is Denver. In the 50s, population was about 500,000, right? Here in Arvada is where we go next. And see, this is the natural progression that the train takes through the towns and stuff. And I'm going to take advantage and show y'all this too.
What era would you say you run?
You said 50s.
Yeah, the 50s.
50s?
Yeah. So look here. I can come up here right now because these trains are too close together. And I got a roundabout up here. And so I just hit those switches. Instead of this train continuing to catch up to that train, I just turn this one around and send it back down to Denver. Now this one keeps on coming and will go up to Winter Park. So I just have a turnaround. And as long as I remember to flip the switches, we good.
Wee!
You better get some brakes on that thing, Brian.
Yeah, well, we are normally pretty good at this speed. I do have it up a little higher than I normally run it.
Does pretty well going that fast.
But yeah,
Rick's
it can handle up to about
can...
55%, and I had it on 52. If you get over that, it gets a little rocky. So what I do here is I learned a lot of stuff actually putting this together, so I wouldn't forget stuff. I learned a lot of things that I need to do on my layout. I'll move through here pretty quick, but I do want to talk about them because what I'd like to have is some ideas from y'all about what to do in these places. So if you do have an idea, if you'll put it in either the comments or in the chat, I'm going to go back through and see if y'all had any good ideas to help me out with. But so like in Arvada, what we're finding is I need a lot more agriculture, farmland, those kind of things on this layout than I currently have, and I didn't really know that before I did all this. They're primarily agriculture and small businesses in this area. So basically, everywhere between the 2x4s is a different town, all the way around. And so, if those places have any like major, like there's a few places as we go around that have some pretty big landmark type buildings and stuff that I intend to model. But so like right here, I just did this. So this tells me what I need to have in this area. Over here in Layden is another agriculture. Dirt roads here, as they put it. So I need to kind of make sure that because this area in here, I guess it kind of already looks that way. But so I also told myself here what the temperatures are going to be during in this month here, that kind of thing. And then you go over to Rocky, Colorado here, an industrial community. They had in this area, which I could put here probably, or a little model of, they had this place called the Rocky Flats plant in this area right here called Rocky, Colorado. And but man, they did like plutonium and stuff. Like it's not like a very nice kind of plant, and it's big and broad, and so I don't know if I'll model it or not.
Well, you better get some helpers on that train.
Well, it creeps up. It does.
Better get some pushers on there.
Yeah, they don't need pushers yet. Now, if I get up to about 16, 17 cars, we get to where we might want to put a B unit on the back. Is that where you would put it, in the back or the middle, Steve?
Oh, it depends.
Okay.
Now they put them anywhere. They got all DPUs. They can put them all over the place.
Wherever they'll work.
Yeah. It's all a matter of tonnage, and where they're going to put it, because they don't want to string line the train.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things I worry about. The pusher pushing pushing a flange off from the back.
Well, that's why they don't want to put too much horsepower on the rear end. It all depends on where the tonnage is on the train, how much horsepower, and all that good crap.
Right. What percentage is your grade, Brian?
Coming down here is almost 7. Going up is 2.7. Yeah, I know.
What'd you say it was going up?
Going up to 2.7. So anyway, I'm not going to go through all those like that because of time purposes, but we go from, Denver to Arvada to Layden to Rocky to Clay, Colorado to Plainview, Colorado to Crescent, Colorado. All this is showing me I need gardens, farmland, this kind of stuff in here more than I've got. There is some of these areas do have residential. The Gross Reservoir is right here. That's supposed to be, it needs to be corrected, but once that's gonna be a model way off in the distance is what it's supposed to kind of look like, because it's much smaller than it should be of the dam that's there. Then you got Pine Cliff, Colorado, Rollinsville, Colorado, Tolan, Colorado.
Hey, Brian, I think you need to paint your pointer.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. And maybe I don't want to get the pointy side to work.
Yeah, well, do like Dennis does. Get a real fancy pointer.
I got you. I thought about it, but I couldn't find anything better than this real quick, so I grabbed it. But anyway, I'm going to tell y'all about the structures in a minute. Then you got the Moffett Tunnel comes through here. I got work I got to do in there a lot. But then we come up at Winter Park. And so now when we hit Tabernash, we're at February. And Tabernash is the turnaround right past Winter Park. And I'll tell y'all a little about that in a minute, too. But then I got Winter Park up here in this area. And so here comes the train now. We'll go ahead and watch it come out. We've kind of followed it up here.
Hey, Brian, I think you need to get yourself a little ski train with a
For
GP.
passengers?
Well, no, a little GP30 on the head end, a GP35, and a few little ski train cars that do a little runaway. Because that's that. We were talking in chat about that cheesy runaway movie in 1973. That
Oh, I
basically,
know what you're talking about.
yeah, it had a ski train that left Winter
I've
Park.
watched that movie before because of it was about trains, I think.
Hey, it's on YouTube if anybody wants to find it.
What's the name of the movie?
Runaway.
Runaway?
Runaway.
Never seen it.
There was one done a few years back called Runaway Train, was really bad, but no, this was called Runaway, and it was a ski train that left with passengers going down the mountain and lost its brakes.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie.
It's not bad. I mean, it's okay, I guess.
Is that the movie, Steve, where they were like rebuilding a switch, and at the end they all just got like bars and pressed their bodies into it to keep it together?
Right, and then they had their brand new locomotive come in from the back end and grab it and stop it before it crashed into the dead end station.
Yeah, I remember that.
That sounds pretty cheesy.
Hey, Brian, if you want input on what to put in areas, you should just do a video talking about.
Oh, I'm going. I think I'm going to because
in your video, be easier for you to.
Well, I didn't. I thought I was going to actually get to show y'all a little bit more about what was supposed to go there, and that was going to help. But
you can come back.
Yeah, I can. But like I said,
Sure.
This is Cousin Vinny's. This right here is Wild Bill. This is the New Fenris River Rafting Outpost. Right here is Uncle Digger's cabin. Right there is Jerry Sat's watermill. That's the very first thing I ever 3D printed. Here's a drive-in. This is Uncle Wilmer's warehouse. More copies of other stuff. Diner, a church. That's John McKernan's watermill. This is a brothel, actually, that actually exists in Colorado, or did at one time. That's John's cabin. That's Mark's cabin. That's Dave's cabin. That's Mark's as well. Mark had me make that. That's the one he grew up in a long time ago, I think, one time or something. And then right here is another version of Uncle Digger's cabin. Y'all remember Roy Eltham? That's Eltham's coal mine there. And up here is a model of the Winter Park Ski Lodge that still exists today. That was there in the 50s. And this is a model of that. And y'all know Norman, right? Norman designed that bar back there. And so we will.
Dennis is getting sick.
What happened?
I can't watch anymore. I tried.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
How bad it was. But
Dennis
it's time to go
sick.
back
Told
upstairs.
me it's not you, it's me.
No, okay, so I'm going to go back upstairs now anyway, and so we can close everything out because we're getting short on time.
Yeah, Claude. Claude. He's the time Nazi.
I will.
Oh yeah, I'm the
I
time
think it's a
Nazi.
good policy, though. I really do think it's a good policy because you could go on forever. So,
It could.
Well, we had before, not forever, but we've gone way over before. But try not to step on anybody else's toes.
We try.
I'll see.
A lot of shows have kind of dropped off.
Thank you for allowing me to show my stuff to y'all. I'll be right back in a sec.
I've got a question I meant to ask like 3 weeks ago to chat and everybody in the show. Does everybody remember Big Bill? Who's Big Bill talking to?
Yeah.
Has anybody seen? I haven't tried to contact him, but has anybody talked to him?
He's still around. He posts videos. He's building another layout, but they're sporadic. They're not like.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll try to get a hold of him, or if you think about it, send him an email or a note.
Yeah.
I'd love to get him on the show.
Yeah.
A question for Chad.
I mean, he's had Bill and I both on.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever had Dennis on his show, but he's a super nice guy. I'd love to get him on the show sometime.
Yeah, he would be fantastic as a guest.
Yeah.
Question for Chad.
So, we got
Are you
5
guys,
minutes left.
would Chat be interested in a topic, say, on train operations?
Yes.
Something
Yeah.
Sure.
Who cares what they say? I say yes.
Okay. And maybe we can. And I think Dave Todd is in the chat. Maybe he'd want to pop in and.
I would love to see. I know it'd probably be difficult to do, but like diagrams. Here's.
Well, I mean,
even if it was just me taking a picture of one of my industries, and what would a real train conductor do versus what I'm doing, because it's like there was one video that I did, where you came on and said, "Oh, by the way,"
Yeah,
so like, took an extra move, which, I mean, you're absolutely right, but my rationale at the time that I did it was all about was actually part of the next move coming back, not going forward. So, but it never occurred to me that maybe you would do it that way.
I mean, you could. You're running around your train anyway, so why not get the move done there?
Dennis, on your layout, you are the conductor.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know.
You can do it however you want to do it.
But at the same time, for me, it's always a mystery kind of how I should block the train before I even leave the yard. And
well, think in your head on how many moves. Every time you stop and start is a move. So figure you want to do it in the least amount of moves to get it done, and like you had that car to spot anyway, and put it where it's easy. You got to grab the caboose anyway, put your spot car right there, shove it in, spot it, put the caboose back on, run around your train, boom, you're gone.
But that's just like, I would wonder if Steve stepped up to Maroon Creek, I would presume that Steve in 30 seconds or less would go, I know exactly how I'd block my train before I left the yard, where I'm like, should I switch that industry first, or would I switch it second? Am I creating more work for me by doing it this way versus that way? Because some of those things are not intuitive to me, because I've never done it in real life.
Yeah, you kind of have to think ahead of time. When you're blocking your train in the yard, what you've got to do down the road, and you just want to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah,
because you want to get over the road too. I mean, back then you were dealing with train orders, so you had a limited amount of time that you could hold the main line to do your local work. So you wanted to be able to get it done and go without having to jump in the clear to for a higher class train to go by.
Well, we got a couple minutes here left. I wanted to thank Brian for coming on. And
Yes.
Brian, you're welcome anytime, man.
That was great.
It's good to have.
Yeah, get you back on and tell us more about each town and what was going on in each one of them.
Yeah, like I said, what's kind of cool is like I learned how far the snow needs to come. It needs to come out a little further. And I learned that doing all those little cards, that kind of thing. The snow needs to come almost to John's sawmill by season and month, and that kind of thing, which I have no problem with because snow's fun. So
yeah.
I think you could put it behind the engine, Joe. Joe had a question.
I was trying to type it out, but basically on a local, the caboose can be anywhere. Because you're in the process of switching. But before the days of end of train devices, they would have to stick a red flag in the knuckle of the last car just to designate that that's the end of the train.
I still see them do that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they don't have cabooses. Basically, they're shoving platforms. But
I'm just saying, like, I still see them use red flags instead of
because you still have to designate that that's the end of a train.
Right.
Because if you've got somebody rolling your train by, say there's a track crew on the ground and you're going by, they're going to want to see something on the rear end of that train, a caboose, a fusee, or a flag to designate that that's. I mean, you could have left half your train on the main line somewhere, and nobody would know.
Well, that's our time, guys.
Wow, that went by fast. Woo.
Good
Yeah,
job.
it always
man.
does.
Always.
Always does.
Yeah, I looked up.
Again, I want to thank you, Brian, for coming on.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah.
And Steve, good to see you back here, I think.
And Brian, don't be a stranger, man. Come back anytime.
I won't.
And Dennis and Jerry, thank you. And Bill, have a safe trip back home.
Yes.
And
For sure.
I'll send you the link. And if you can come on, come on. If you can't, we understand that too.
Yeah, it'll be once in a while. I'll become Shannon again.
That's a
Yeah.
And
And
maybe-
one quick note, guys. I'm personally going to have a live stream on at 1 o'clock Central Time. So in a couple hours, no, let's see, it'd be 3 hours from now.
What are you doing?
2 o'clock here.
Yeah, you'll get information on what I'm going to do with the layout and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, you can join me there for about 3 hours. Anyway, have a good rest of your weekend and a good week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Later.
Y'all be good. Take
Yeah.
care.
Have a nice week. See you.
That's a link to Claude's stream. See you.
Oh, good idea, Jerry.
Yeah, very good.